is no recycling of water, but there is continuous, there is no recirculation, but there is continuous recycling of the waste so that the water gets purified by the in situ, treatment processes happening without an external filtration. And the water quality in this system is mostly controlled by the microbial processes rather than the phytoplankton or algae that is common in the conventional system. So to talk about the Biofloc technology, it is difficult to trace the history of Biofloc because Biofloc system perhaps has been an age-old practice, especially in India, because we have the traditional carp farming systems in India. The farmers used to have fermented rice bran or groundnut oil cake mixture, which is nothing but a Biofloc system that has been functioning quite well, but at low densities. More organized systems have been developed in France in the 1970s and then taken up in the 1980s by some USA and also particularly in the case of tilapia as a model. And perhaps the first commercial application of Biofloc has been done for shrimp in Tahiti and also later in Belize shrimp farms in the 1988. So the modern Biofloc systems have become more popular by the research done in Israel in the 1990s, where Professor Yoram and his colleagues have taken up a series of researchers to take this technology to a global level. So what is the difference between conventional and Biofloc systems? The conventional, as I said, it's based on primary productivity, the algal production, where you have the oxygen produced during the day and oxygen consumed at night when there is no sunlight. And organic matter is generated in the system, and whereas the control of nitrogen is taken place by the primary productivity, the algae, with limited capacity to remove the nitrogenous waste. But Biofloc is, on the other hand, is based on microbial activity or bacterial production. And here the oxygen is consumed, organic matter is consumed, nitrification process, and the control of, CN ratio, that is carbon nitrogen ratio, as you may all know. And it means that there is unlimited capacity to control the nitrogenous waste in a Biofloc system. So there have been a lot of triggers for this development. The need for reducing water use, or of course the stricter regulations for effluent release to the environment, the emergence of diseases, and also most or importantly the need to reduce the feed cost. So here you can see the left of the slide, you can see the system, conventional system, which is more or less green system, which is chlorophyte based. And on the right pane, you can see the microbial based system, which is rather brown. So what are the benefits of Biofloc system, Biofloc technology? Biofloc technology, as already mentioned, is a closed system with the primary benefits to improve water quality, enhancing the nutrition. And how does it enhance improve the water quality? Is by eliminating or reducing the total ammonia nitrogen in pond, or this is done by adding carbon source to convert to heterotrophic microbial biomass. So with the water quality, there are secondary benefits: the growth improvement, reduction of FCR, reduction of pathogenic risks, and also improved disease resistance. And of course, there have been cases that Biofloc improves the product quality, the meat color, and especially in the case of shrimp. So there have been improvements in many cases. So our interest is, can Biofloc act as growth promoter? That's the main big question people have been asking. And many studies have confirmed that the biofloc can promote growth in the case of tilapia and shrimp. And there have been other studies coming up in other species, for example, the catfish, the African catfish, Clarius garipinus, the rohu, the carps, then also in hybrid lemon fin bar. These are some of the few studies that are coming up recently. So more research is going on to confirm if there is a real growth promotion from biofloc. So let's see what are the benefits of biofloc on improving the water quality. So we know that in the intensive aquaculture, the accumulation of nutrients is a major problem. So more nitrogen is released, and then um, the the input of nitrogenous waste and also the discharge of nitrogen and phosphorus. All these are a major problem because especially because it's seen that just 20 to 50% of the nitrogenous nutrients coming into the system as feed are retained, whereas 12 to 65% of phosphorus is already retained in the system. So the rest of these nutrients, in fact, released into the environment, causing a lot of environmental issues. So the nitrogenous waste, particularly in the form of ammonia, they get accumulated in the system, and this shows the fate of ammonia, nitrogen in the water and sediment. And one practical indication of the water quality is that we have to maintain the level of total ammonia nitrogen at least below 1 ppm. So assuming that the water quality is good. So to overcome this problem, we have to really we have options to remove nitrogenous waste, particularly the water exchange, as in the open system, or we can use the phototrophic or phytoplanktonic algal organisms, or we can use the microbial systems, especially as in the recirculating aquaculture systems, particularly what you call the chemoautotrophic bacteria, or we can use the heterotrophic bacteria, such as you have it in bioflocs. So when you use the algae or autotrophs for controlling water quality, what are the autotrophs? So one speciality, one feature is that they obtain the carbon for their energy from inorganic sources like carbon dioxide. And this is a classic two-step reaction, which everybody knows. The ammonia is converted to nitrite and then to nitrate by the two bacteria. Whereas in the biofloc, what we utilize is a heterotrophic bacteria, which in fact are not able to synthesize their own food, but they rely on organic carbon for their energy source. And the primary difference between these two bacteria are that the heterotrophic bacteria have a greater capacity to assimilate ammonia than nitrifying bacteria. So to compare, the heterotrophic bacteria has the ability to multiply much faster than the chemotrophic bacteria, by which, for example, the nitrifying bacteria, or which are chemotropic bacteria, they will double in population every 15 to 24 hours, whereas the heterotrophic bacteria can reproduce in just 15 minutes to 1 hour. So that means a greater capacity for the heterotrophic bacteria to assimilate the ammonia, the nitrogenous waste, much faster than the autotrophic bacteria. But here the only condition is that you need to continuously provide some carbon source for the bacteria, because the carbon that is available in the system may soon get exhausted, and you have to continue to provide some carbon, especially using complex carbohydrates, uh, to the biofloc system for the bacteria, the heterotrophic bacteria, to maintain or to sustain themselves. So this is how the concept of water quality and the nutritional efficiency. Uh, you know that bioflocs are aggregates of several organisms, not only bacteria, and a major portion of the floc is water. And the live microbial cells constitute a very important food for the fish because they become a floc and become easily available for the fish to feed on. We find that biofloc is a highly nutritious feed component. It can contain 30 to 45% protein, up to 5% lipids, vitamins, minerals, particularly phosphorus, and all this quality depends on the associated organisms, microorganisms in the biofloc. One issue with the biofloc may be the ash content, because sometimes the ash content may be up to 70%, especially in the diatom dominant flocs, whereas in the chlorophyte-based flocs, they have lower ash content, up to 22%. So what makes or what gives the efficiency of bioflocs? There are so many factors. Especially, we need to provide high stocking densities. Example, shrimp and tilapia. You can see the stocking density could be very high, and we need to provide high CN ratio, around 10 or lower is often okay, and high aeration, especially because these heterotrophic bacteria needs oxygen to survive, and also the position of aerators, so that there should be correct mixing and uh, removal of the solid sediments that we call as a sludge towards the center can be done, and also keep the bioflocs in suspension so that it's available as feed to the fish or shrimp. Then lining of ponds is important. Can be concrete ponds, or you can use high density polyethylene liners. And of course, the addition of carbon sources in whatever way, complex or simple carbon source, carbohydrate sources um, are fine. One of the most popular uh, carbon source is molasses. Some people add sugar, some people add grains, flours, or many carbon sources have been tried. So what are the species that are qualified for biofloc? Because for utilization in the biofloc system, it is important that the fish can feed well, especially the filter feeding fishes like the tilapia or shrimp, which can easily filter the particulate matter, are really useful for biofloc systems. Mostly omnivores. Often the carnivorous fishes are not really well suitable for biofloc, but recently many experiments are done with the carnivorous as well, especially the catfish in Indonesia. So tilapia is one of the best fish for biofloc systems, especially because it can, survive or tolerate very harsh conditions. DO levels above 4 ppm is required, and also the gills are suitable for the biofloc filtering. It can feed on natural food, and on top of all, tilapia can survive in quite turbid waters, even up to 2000 ppm. But for biofloc, up to 400 ppm seems to be good. Below 400 ppm should be good. And more importantly, the tilapia can consume, a major share of the protein from the biofloc. So, tilapia supplementary feed can have a lower percentage of protein. For example, the 24% protein in feed uh, is performs as well as the 35% protein provided to the fish. So you can have an efficient reduction in the protein percentage of tilapia supplementary feed. So these are the production parameters of tilapia that you can use in biofloc. It can be 20 to 25 per meter cube density, or it can even be high, And then the average feed consumption, uh, 200 gram per ton per day. Water exchange is quite low, 0.2 to 0.4% per day. And you can see the water consumption in intensive production is just 100 liter per kilogram, which is quite low. And the energy consumption is also moderate. Uh, but for small scale systems, we really need to improvise the system using perhaps the lower stocking densities, moderate aeration, and also using indoor or roofed systems, which could be uh, tested. And in fact, as Dr. Babida mentioned, it is really important that we trial these systems for the small scale sector. Coming to the shrimp, you know that worldwide shrimp farming has been coming under transformation, especially because of the greater threat for environmental pollution. And this is a farm in Thailand that nowadays most of the Thai farms have shrimp toilets in the center, so that all the waste, the sediments, the feed remains, uh, or all the effluents that normally would have been flushed out to the environment are now discharged from the center, from the what you call the central pit or toilet, and then they are pumped to a treatment system, a water treatment system, using sometimes an anoxic pond, using microbial treatment, or the recycling by using mussels or oysters, seaweeds, so that the clear water goes back to the system. This is an example of the farm in Thailand where the locally adapted techniques, which are modified from the Biofloc, and also integrating a pond recirculating systems, have been tried and have been known to be working quite efficiently for the past several years. This is an example of the system where you can see that all the sediments are brought to the center, and then the whole water is treated uh, into different treatment ponds, and then clear water is pumped back to the production system. So this is a kind of modification of the biofloc and also a recirculating system in the pond in situ. This is another pond, another farm in Thailand, where similar systems have been used, and especially following biofloc principles, and then getting the whole water treated using a wetland, and then the entire water is recirculated within the pond, within the farm, so that the no water exchange, no water discharge happens in major parts of the production period. So finally, what are the benefits of biofloc system to the health management? We know that health management is a major problem in aquaculture. So if you have good water quality, less stress to the animal, better nutrition, enhanced biosecurity, and then if there is a reduction in the pathogen incidence, then you know that there is enhanced immunity and reduction in diseases. So can the biofloc enhance disease resistance? This is still a continuing question. There have been a few studies on shrimp, tilapia, catfish, rohu, carp, other carps, and against several known pathogens. And there have been quite concrete evidence coming up to indicate that biofloc can enhance immune resistant immunity, disease resistance in fish and shrimp, and also upregulation of immune-related genes in shrimp. So, what makes it working, or what is a mechanism for all these perceived benefits of bioflocs? Do they have bioactive compounds? But we really need to have more research. What exactly is the mechanism that qualifies biofloc to enhance the immunity? Do they act like natural probiotics, or do they have specific bioactive compounds? All these are points for research. And there have been quite a few studies that tested the immunity of fish and shrimp using different carbon sources, different CN ratios, different types of biofloc, and I have summarized a few of those research that shows that the carbon sources like molasses, tapioca, and rice bran, molasses and wheat bran, and even shrimp feed that provides some resistance or better innate immunity and oxidative stress relief to fish and shrimp. Yeah, there have been several studies again on tilapia, the rohu, catfish, and also reduction of Vibrio harvae, the luminous bacteria in Artemia. So all these new researches are coming up, which increasingly indicate that biofloc has the ability, has the potential to reduce disease incidences in aquaculture. So to conclude, I have summarized the general pros and cons of biofloc system. You really need high dissolved oxygen. You need high amount of aeration in the system, and because of its high stocking density, uh, it also needs high energy cost for aeration and other things. So power failures are not welcome. Power failures can be so hazardous, so problematic, and you also need the ponds to be lined, and then even after all these, we have some solid sediments that are discharged to the environment. So how to deal with it is another problem. But above all, the bioflow can really bring stable water quality. It can bring faster growth, typically greater production, and also it can make the feeding more efficient with lower FCR. And of course, the content of fish meal as an ingredient in aqua feed could be really reduced. And also, it provides high biosecurity and health of the stock. So the production costs can also be lower in highly efficient bioflow systems. So the outlook for future, we still need a lot of research, because in many instances, biofloc is seen as a panacea for everything. It's not a one silver bullet for every problem in aquaculture. So we really need to improvise the different production systems. We really need to get it, suitable for species to make it more useful. So, how bioflocs can help in health management? What are the specific modes of action? So, how the nutrient deficiencies differ in the different production conditions? And of course, more importantly, biofloc has been found to be deficient in a few essential amino acids. How to overcome this system? And finally, how to efficiently manage the sludge from biofloc systems. Can we reduce it? Can we reuse the sludge, or how can we recycle it in a much better way than we do now? So these are some of the questions that for future research. And that is all from me. And thank you very much for your patient hearing of my presentation. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Babida.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful talk on this particular aspect, and especially on Southeast Asian farming activities, which we have gained much knowledge about various innovations they have done in farming sector. So we will move on to next speaker. Our next speaker is Dr. Akshay Panigrahi, Principal Scientist from ICR Central Institute of Brackish-Water Aquaculture, was vast experience in working with shrimp farming using biofloc technology. Over to you, sir. Uh, Over to Dr. Akshay Panigrahi, sir.
Yes.
Sir, thank you.
A very happy morning to all of you, and thank you so much for the introduction, Dr. Babita, and for the opportunity, the CIFE family. So this is today about shrimp aquaculture, and I'm very happy that Dr. Saleen set the stage for this presentation. And I am Dr. Akshay Panigrahi, representing Central Institute of Brackish-Water Aquaculture here in Chennai. Here in this shrimp aquaculture, a lot of it is in a crossroad. We have the highest, if you see our seafood export, almost 40 to 45,000 crore rupees alone we earn from the export of this commodity shrimp. So the coastal aquaculture is nothing but now is based on a more or less a single species, that is Pineus venami, that is the SPF variety. Here, why I told it is we are in a crossroad, because one side there is a lot of demand, lot of productivity and hike and production increases. India alone produces almost 7 lakh, more than 7 lakh metric ton of production. But at the same time, because of the diseases, and you say every 6 months there is some kind of emerging diseases, like from the beginning, white spot syndrome virus, then now recently we were talking of IMMNB, and also the ESP and other diseases. Just before few days, my colleagues here, we have estimated India alone is losing a production of 1.5 lakh metric ton, worth around 7,000 crore rupees, due to this kind of emerging diseases alone. So this is what India's loss and all along. And we are always looking for some kind of eco-based farming technology, where the sustainable intensification can be made. And this Biofloc is one such technology. And I will be talking about the shrimp Biofloc based nursery and grow out. Few. Can you please see my slides?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what we will be discussing today. And as you know, the production after the introduction of this exotic SPF variety of the shrimp, India's production has gone up like anything. We are almost like 7 lakh, more than 7 lakh metric ton we produce. And the majority of that, almost like 90% of that, is the exotic variety. Of course, we are trying our level best to go for the Indian variety of this shrimp, like Peneus monodon and Indicus, for that matter. That is our flagship program. Of course, Government of India also is trying. So in the whole context, when we see what we are looking for, a genetically improved variety of this shrimp, which is so far we don't have of our native species, and for which we are looking for that. And then other one is the biosecurity and the best management practices. And one of the important other aspect is the eco-based farming technology. And under this, when you see this above this graph, it is just, you see, after the domestication or the introduction of the SPF variety, how the productivity, it is almost from the 2000 year 2000 2001, once it is introduced, the domesticated venami, how the productivity is increasing. And also the one side, the disease is the major, one of the major important issues of which is reducing the productivity and production. Then other, though we have a number of other potential species in the fin fish also, like chanos millfish, which we at SIBA we bred it in 2015 recently. And farmers are very happy to take in the biofloc farming also. We have seen the excellent growth pattern of this species. And even Lettis calcarifer and Vigulcephalus, many farmers are starting with this species also, the other than shrimp. But so far, the as a economic return, if you see, these shrimps and these monodon, Indicus and venami, these three species are being tried in the biofloc. And this is what even the Indicus we are trying for the genetically improved variety for a massive scale demonstration all across India. So these are the, when we talk of eco-based, the recent innovations, and this one in the technological sector for the shrimp aquaculture, you can find the most of the technology is related to some kind of intensification, but it is in a sustainable way. and you take it for example in pond raceway system, or a raceway system, raceways with biofloc, and for that matter the natural probiotics or probiotic of this biofloc, to use that in the zero water exchange recirculation system. Then all these thing if you see, and also we are not only now but India for that matter, we are doing both in the research side, also in the commercial side. We are also promoting the organic aquaculture, where we have a lot of realization in terms of but the here the productivity and all, there is a limitation, and our farmers somehow in the quest of getting higher productivity and all, this is not that way commercially not being taken that much. And another way of farming is zero tolerance for antibiotics. As you know, these antibiotics, the all these resistance and all this creation. So we are not allowing these antibiotics. Even the the export thing is always getting affected if there is any use of antibiotics. So probiotic based farming, almost India and many other countries in the shrimp aquaculture, it is no antibiotics and zero tolerance, and we are accepting the probiotic based aquaculture, shrimp aquaculture all throughout. And in that particular thing, when we see in a normal two aspects of any this kind of farming, which is we name it like plankton driven the aquaculture, shrimp aquaculture, where the plankton is the hero, and it takes care of whatever in the feed related nitrogenous waste or whatever is coming, though it's a very slow process. But whatever algal uptake and all Dr. Salin told, that is being taken care of here in this one. But here generally people come across this plankton crash, which is the usually it, because there is a fluctuation, there is a diurnal fluctuation. If you see in this plankton driven aquaculture, always morning there will be very low DO, low pH, and many parameters will be fluctuating between, in a diurnal manner it will be fluctuating, and that gives a unnecessary stress to the animal. And to come across some other way to tackle this problem of nitrogenous waste, you know, like 70%, 60 to 70% of the feed what you are giving, at least the it is going to the water. And to take care of that, it can be done as already it is discussed. I will not take much time. So it is by algal uptake, that photoautotrophic system, or by the chemoautotrophic microbial system, or heterotrophic system. And the advantage here is this heterotrophic bacteria or the biofloc bacteria. They are very fast growth rate, which is like almost 10 times higher than these autotrophic bacteria. And as and when they grow, they assimilate whatever nitrogenous metabolites are there in this, but in the presence of carbon. So carbon is the carbon or carbon nitrogen ratio is very important aspect, and which is need to be taken care of in this system. Generally 10 to CN ratio of 10 to 15 is ideal to have a biofloc environment. And now because of the whatever way you are putting the carbon input, and because of this carbon input also you are always investing some money there. So we are trying to promote some kind of semi-floc kind of system, where we are not allowing the biofloc the biofloc volume to increase more than say 5 to 7 ml per liter. And with that, with limited amount of carbon input, if it can be maintained, or even reducing the protein, it can be maintained, then it is a very good system for that matter. So semi-floc mode of production system is also coming, and for our farmer with less capital investment and with less risk, it is more suitable also. And we are not talking of this biofloc suddenly to come, but our farmers, if you see this kind of symbiotic like probiotics and prebiotics in a, they usually apply in a system like they say organic juice. It is nothing but some kind of fermentation process by using some yeast and rice bran and other kind of carbohydrate, molasses and all. So that is being used for several years in our farming. So this is a advanced version. You can say we here we are very scientifically we are measuring how much ammonia is getting waste in the water, and how much you need to put the carbon to maintain a carbon nitrogen ratio for that matter. And so this is what the in a diagrammatic manner, if you see carbon, when you put carbon input with a carbon nitrogen ratio, the heterotrophic bacteria, they take care of the total ammonical nitrogen or ammonia, whatever is there, that one. So uh, again, the historical aspects already is spoken here, but if you think of the major this one, the biofloc generation, biofloc can be generated by especially by three methods, and we have also some publication in that. And one is by the colonization method, by natural transition method. You first start with a autotrophic mode of system, where you have the plankton initially, and slowly you change that system by addition of this carbohydrate to a biofloc system. When your nitrogenous metabolites in terms of feed input and all going up, that time you can easily transform this autotrophic system to a heterotrophic system. Then the other thing is the inoculum approach, where our farmers, they don't have much time to do that, so they need some kind of biofloc consortium immediately there, which will generate within 2-3 days, 4 days time. Initially you have to put some kind of nitrogenous thing like urea, ammonium sulfate, and then followed by the carbohydrate sources, and there invariably, since the alkalinity goes down in this system because of the utilization of the carbon or carbon dioxide, so you have to add some kind of lime substance like dolomite or hydrated lime at some ppm, depending on your pH status and all. So within this inoculum approach, within few days this customized biofloc you can create by putting the fermented biofloc, this one, but very easily to calculate. As such, there is a carbon nitrogen ratio in the feed itself. So feed itself, there is some suppose depending on the protein percentage, suppose protein, if it is for shrimp, it is almost 35% of protein. There is a already inherent carbon nitrogen ratio of 9 is there present in the system, and you need to make a 15:1, another 6 of carbon to a nitrogen, is that much is enough. And the depending on the carbon sources what you are using, like jaggery or sugar, depending on their percentage of carbon, one can select how much of carbohydrate required of a particular type of carbohydrate. And here very easily we can calculate, even once it is started, or the initial phase of generation of the carbohydrate started, then depending on the total ammonical nitrogen, here is like suppose 1.5 mg nitrogen ton is there in a 15-ton tank. So it means total ton is the around 22 gram is there. This much ton to be taken care, it means you can multiply, there is a factor of 6, it can be multiplied to know how much of a particular carbon or a particular carbohydrate is required for that matter. And the advantage of this is already discussed, but to apart from the biosecurity aspect, the toxic metabolites, utilization of those things, and reduced, the most important aspect here is how the FCR getting reduced, because it is being utilized, the feed, at least the biofloc protein, the microbial protein feed is very excellent in the protein, and from 20% to 40% protein it can have. And the energy cost also, here it is found that after many studies, it is found that the energy cost, generally we say 300 kg of production of shrimp, it needs 1 HP aerator. Here you can think even 650 kg, because the productivity is more, so you can energy cost is less. And there is a natural product probiotic is there in the system. You need not put extra probiotic and all these things in the system. And the biosecurity and the better performance also gives some more added advantage in terms of economics and economic feasibility. So it could be, as we know, a variety, but now identically, because of the social media hype, we consider like the biofloc means everybody think it's a tank, It's not exactly true. It could be a tank-based biofloc system, a tank-based nursery system also, where polythene. But here the requirement is that there should be a central drainage system to take care of the extra whatever sludge material. This bacteria generation time is so short, and so much of bacteria they come up here, so it have to be taken out when the dead bacteria and sludge should be taken out from the system, whether it is a small tank or a big nursery or a tank, biofloc based aquaculture tank. So it should be designed accordingly. And then these are all certain biofloc. We are also giving so many technical guidance to many people. Sometimes we prefer this kind of reservoir type of system, where the water in along with the aeration, it is having a flow which gives a natural simulation way to either making the biofloc in the suspension. Also, this is also taking care of the growth and other thing, because the it's a flowing water and gives that one. Then these are the measuring cylinder IMHOF flask, which measure the biofloc. And this IMHOF cone, we just take it 1 liter and then keep it settled for some 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then in case of shrimp, it is we just usually require around 2 to 4, 2 to 5 in the first month, that much ml of this one, and the second month, third month subsequently little higher, and never more than 12 to 15 ml of biofloc is required in this one. And we need to have these parameters like alkalinity, total ammonical nitrogen, and temperature, TDS, all these things measure regularly. And these are the to set up a biofloc system. We need to have understanding of the system, the species, and the stocking density, because the it can comply with the carrying capacity of the system. All these things, stocking and the species, can be decided how much carrying capacity you are taking up. Then the preceding microbes and feed management, floc management, sludge management, these are the aspects of biofloc. To touch upon very few, because of the limitation of the time, the floc is, there are a very high level of floc, 2 to 5 times here in the system. So the oxygen requirement is definitely more, and total ammonical nitrogen is 0.5 to 1 maximum should be maintained. And sludge is 200, more than 200 ppm of this total suspended solid. It can crop the effluent, be taken care of. And so all these things, once it is done, and then the feeding management, when you do, more importantly, it should be a very regulated feeding in case of biofloc, because whenever there is a tension of ammonia, nitrate, and all these things, you should reduce your feeding. And whenever there is a crash, in case it is a green biofloc and there is a crash kind of thing, it should be reduced. And temperature also, now winter, so the bare minimum, every 1 degree fall in temperature, you must reduce your feeding by 10%. Then only your system will be stabilized. Otherwise, excess feeding always create many problems. And depending on the gut emptying time in the shrimp is generally 60 to 100 minutes. And depending on that, if you orient your putting the biofloc carbon input, then it is always good, and always overfeeding is dangerous. So it is like every 100 kg feed what you give, out of that 20 kg is on 18, and 50 kg goes as fecal matter, and which give rise to, again in the system, it goes as protein, carbohydrate, and that gives to the harmful gas and pathogenic bacteria. So one should be very cautious when deciding the feeding management in the biofloc. And this is another aspect, is we tell periphyton based farming. This is along with the biofloc, this can be joined together to have a symbiotic effect of these periphytons, which are again attached substances in any kind of substrate. Commercially, there are farms which put some vertical screen of this agricultural shade net with some float and with some sinker, so that this creates a lot of periphyton. Along with the biofloc, this gives added advantage, and we have several studies in that. And this biofloc, coming to the biofloc nursery, some demonstrations we have taken all across many places of India. And then we have seen generally total is from 70 to 90% survival we get, and production depending on the stocking density, 3000 to 5000 numbers can be stocked in a cubic meter of water, in a ton of water. And then this is with that, depending on the stocking density, the growth. But ideally, when the biofloc nursery is not close to the farm, we prefer to have the shrimp grown to a smaller size. Even 21 days it can be harvested, because 200 to 400 milligram size is ideal to transport this animal to other farm. But whatever it is, there is a phenomenon of compensatory growth. This graph, as it shows, the same animal, when it is stocked directly in the farm and with the nursery grown, the biofloc based nursery grown animal, in 110 days they grow almost 29 gram of shrimp, compared to 22 gram in a normal culture when it is put directly in the farm. So there is a compensatory growth, so you need not worry about the size of the animal. It is important that you maintain good survival, and moreover, the initial phase, the whatever early mortality, that if you can prevent, that gives a big this one. And here are some success story coming in, even Rosenbergi with a survival of 88%, and this ABW of 1 gram, and this one. And we have done with this some of the pioneers in this field, like Dr. Anil, and also so many farmers, like High Tide is one of the important farmer of Surya Kumar, and so many farmers. And this one, they are being inspired by these pioneers. And what we have seen in there, along with them, we do all kind of research, and we have seen that this biofloc grown animal, when they are challenged with some kind of pathogens, here in this case is Vibrio parahemolyticus pathogen, then we find that the survival, the cumulative mortality is much less in case of biofloc reared nursery grown animals. And so these are the advantage. And coming to the grow out, these are all very pioneering experiment we conducted in 2013-14. Here we have seen the biofloc animal, or rather biofloc and periphyton based animal. You can see the animal ABW normal conventional, when it is 25 to 30 gram, it is almost 40 gram in case of biofloc, with 27 to 30% increase in the improvement, and the productivity also increased 50%, and then the FCR reduced by 10 to 30%. So these are all 2000. We got almost 40 to 45 ton production per hectare. And after that, we are continuously we are doing a lot of experiment with regard to the different kind of carbohydrates, because many places the molasses use are prohibited, and so we have come out with a combination of different carbohydrate to give the best result. And reducing the protein again give added advantage. As you know, from 40% we come down to 24%, but still the growth and all is not impaired. Also the immune genes like the SOD, the hemocyanin, the other phenol oxidase, and all these genes were found to be highly upregulated even in this high protein and medium protein group. Then carbon nitrogen ratio, we have seen with this different carbon nitrogen ratio, we have found how the bacterial community is influenced, and we have through metagenomics we have studied this one. And here are some how the disease prevention aspect of this biofloc, how it works. And invariably, that is in the labs, when you do exactly, it is everything is very fine, but in the field how far it is getting, it is still we have doubt, because some of the biofloc farms also, they get sometime uninadvertently some bacteria or virus they enter. And but in case of lab, always it is a very green picture with regard to different pathogen like bacteria and virus. And this is what the field experiment demonstration, and how this is in a biofloc system, how this is showing in a low FCR, and also the survival is 95% versus 85%, and the productivity in a small 0.12 hectare is almost like 2 ton productivity. And in another experiment where it is conducted both in the 1200 square meter pond, here the FCR, the average daily growth, and everything is higher in case of fully lined pond with biofloc, almost 0.2 average daily growth. And this is done with the productivity of very high productivity of 47 ton is achieved in this biofloc. And now of course there is a cost involved, and more you do this biofloc more maintenance, and also semi-floc mode of this one we are promoting. And also there are some scientific study we do the ability of these different diverse microflora to have the enzymatic production, like the protease, amylase, and all these things. So these are all the different kind of biofloc. So what is important is, compared to the conventional system, in the biofloc system, in the control only two genera of biofloc when this enzyme producer when we obtain. In case of biofloc, we get almost 6 to 7 type of profusely producing this microflora, enzyme producing microflora. And also the biofloc as a biofloc meal as a feed ingredient, that is we are doing a lot of research on that, and we find that a different kind of protein, very high level of protein and all these things is obtained, and that can be utilized almost 4 to 8% in the feed itself. And that is what we are stopping the future the in future this when we are trying to stop the fish meal and all these things from the natural, for natural sustainability and all. So here biofloc is give one kind of this one, and we have some study on the green biofloc and a brown biofloc, and how we can utilize the energy from the sun to have a combination of the thing. And what we find is green biofloc, though it is high in eicosapentaenoic PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acid and all, that can be used. And we have also designed some kind of biofloc harvester. Many freshwater farmer and this one, they have a problem with not generating biofloc. They have a problem how to reduce the floc once it is generating so much. So if it can be harvested and it can be used for different purposes of this one, then like drying it and utilizing it as a feed ingredient, it will be of a big help to the farmer. And there are some other scientific study we do within proteomics and genomics study. And finally the economics is the most important part here. And as a freshwater, many of my speakers are there to cover. And here what we find is definitely the rate of return is very good. In case of even 5 to 6 kg per ton production can give a yearly 50,000 to 1,20,000 from a 100-ton tank of practicing nursery and this one. But there is always in economics you cannot tell a fixed thing. There are different situations, like a normal situation where your survival and return you are getting like 90 paisa per seed and survival is 75%. And there is a best situation where you are getting per seed you can sell at 1 rupee, but survival is 80%. So the net benefit, if you see, and the benefit cost ratio is accordingly here 1.42. In the best scenario, benefit cost ratio is 1.65 with rate of return of 296%. And in case of worst situation, suppose where the survival reduced to 70% and you are able to sell only at 80 paisa, there also you have a benefit cost ratio of 1.15 with 83% rate of return. So these are all kind of economics, and we have several MOUs and this one with the farmer. So we are at ICR, like CIFE and like SIBA and even other institutes have started helping farmer in a big way to have this biofloc based farming, like scientific biofloc based farming. We are also conducting several training and giving demonstration in different parts, and these are some of our publication in last year. And here the important aspects is how that biofloc generation protocol. We have developed some biofloc generation protocol, and the colonization of this enzymatic microflora, what we tell that is like the gut microbiome in the biofloc animal. We have seen how that is being reflected in their health and prosperity of this animal. Then finally coming to the roadmap, we have definitely a lot of things to do. Even at the policy makers level, there is still now no policy for allowing a higher stocking density. Biofloc cannot be practiced with whatever our usual stocking density of 30, 40, or maximum limit of shrimp stocking is 60. It should be at least to make it commercially viable, it should be 100, 120, or this one 150 numbers for cubic meter, and for that we don't have a specific policy. Now only the coastal aquaculture authority, they are coming forward to formulate some guideline and this one, and we are looking at our farmers, their capability. We are always promoting the semi-floc kind of this production system for our farmers, for the shrimp farmers especially, and the biofloc and periphyton based waste or utilization as feed ingredient. That is one of the thing which government of India should promote. It is very good thing that PMMSY has come out with several schemes to promote this innovative technology, but simultaneously the technology should be like transferred with proper guidance, and not like giving lot many people without any experience, giving a lot of this consultancy and this one, and finally bringing a lot of bad name to this important technology. And the this redefining the SOP and for the eco-based farming system, this innovative technology for sustainable intensification is the need of the hour, and to increase the productivity, nutritional security, and doubling the farmers' income. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the holistic approach in shrimp aquaculture using Biofloc technology and sharing the knowledge here in this platform. We are very thankful to you, sir. Our next speaker is Dr. Ajay Kumar, Technical Manager in Neospark, Surat. He had an experience with a farmer's field using Biofloc technology, especially in the freshwater sector. So we'd like to listen to you, Dr. Ajay Kumar. Over to Ajay. Over to Dr. Ajay.
Hello.
Yeah, audible, Dr. Ajay.
Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is just 1 minute. I share my screen.
Please unmute, Ajay. Dr. Ajay, please unmute. Please unmute. Hello.
Already Akshay sir and Dr. Selim sir explain about the biofloc formation and what kind of modern methods and technique involved in biofloc fish. And here I am going to present what is the current scenario or current situation, how farmers
What happened?
as hello. Hello. Is it audible? As sir already explained about the biofloc, what is the biofloc? Actually, as this, it's a small flocks or aggregation of uneaten fish, bacteria, algae, protozoans, and we are using for formation of biofloc that's nutrient cycle. So for this preparation of biofloc, we are using the nitrogen cycle, and we can say that it's a method to producing the protein cells that are directly consumed by the culture organism like fish and shrimp. So we can this is a very good method for maintaining or reducing the requirements of water in particular aquaculture system, because this is the actually that water restoration or water exchange is the most limiting factor. That's why biofloc technology nowadays become more popular. And as compared to traditional farming, biofloc farming, we all know that having lot of advantage compared to traditional fish farming. It's we can say zero. It's not in practically it's not possible to any biofloc at zero water exchange, but we can say it's a zero water exchange system, a stable culture environment with increased biosecurity. Because if we cut all the inputs like taking waters from the natural resources, then we can say that it's a very good biosecure aquaculture system. And for this high control system, we can stock in a very good density also. And with feed, there is a lot of other feed particles are there in biofloc. Then definitely we got a very good FCR also in biofloc compared to traditional farming. And also if we reduce the ammonia and other things in the biofloc system and providing natural food, then definitely animals are suffering from less physiological stress. And because of a lot of bioflow containing lot of nutrients, immunomodulatory effect also. That's why. And we can also reduce the cost of feed, so because of less FCR, that's why. And definitely we can produce more with very less manpower. Then definitely we can reduce in the farming system that the cost of production also. And the main question is here is why biofloc is more popular fish farming technique nowadays. Because in what I observed in all India, actually I travels in each and every part almost in India. And so what I observed, many people of other profession like nowadays IT profession, in during this pandemic they lost their job, and definitely they also searching for such type of method that it's very good uh, for getting employment. That's why many people of other professions they are more attracted towards so they also think that biofloc fish farming is a very good practice. Then that concept also attract towards biofloc aquaculture. That's why many people are prefer biofloc aquaculture. And also biofloc requires very less land, agriculture land. Actually in India, agriculture land also having a very good price, as well as that availability also is not that much. That's why biofloc require very less land and as capital as compared to other startups. If we going for other startups like lot of business is there, but biofloc aquaculture is a very much required less capital as compared to other startups. So nowadays peoples and youngsters also more attract towards bioflow. And also nowadays fish marketing also increased day by day in people's and more popular in those area. Those earlier peoples are not consuming fish. Likewise now I observe that in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, some parts of other parts of Gujarat also. Earlier, peoples are not aware that much about that fish and consumption of fish as compared to poultry and other. So nowadays, fish also become a very good or popular food commodity. So market-wise, uh, many people are many people are thinking that it's a very good food commodity. And definitely if we enter in this business, then definitely we get more business or more income. And another one is require very less natural resources, no need of any lake and all such type of. If these type of natural resources is not there, then they also not required. So people can, or any entrepreneur can start their biofloc fish farm anywhere. So this one is also one among the points that is uh, good for those who are entered in this business. And side by side subsidiary business like feed, selling of feed, manufacturing of fish feed, medicine dealership, tank setups. I observed lot of people are start their own shop. Previously they are doing some other business, and nowadays they are entered into installation of biofloc tanks and all these things. So biofloc, definitely biofloc aquaculture generates lot of employments also. So it's that's why it's, I think that's why more nowadays more popular as compared to other fish farming techniques. And Biofloc aquaculture now started all over India almost. In Punjab, lot of farmers are starting their own farm, biofloc fish farm, as well as in Haryana also. I observe in Rajasthan and northeast, as northeast, Bihar, UP, and South India also. Lot of fish farm, and peoples are investing more capital, lot of capital also in biofloc fish farming. So it become nowadays very popular, and many ICR institutions and state agriculture university, state fisheries department conducting training programs time to time and promoting this technique, and government also providing financial help. And one float in Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana also as a modern scientific aquaculture technique. Then definitely government of India also promoting such type of technique and providing subsidies and some farming inputs. So subsidy in farming inputs, then definitely government also help to the farmers. And many private organizations like we are also start our own research and development programs and for getting business through these fish farming techniques. So many aquaculture related companies or feed company, medicine company also doing their own research and development, and they also develop some products and some feed that is very useful for biofloc fish farming. And in the medicine, our company also start providing the mineral composition that is only for biofloc, as well as a best pure strain of probiotic bacteria, that is there is no need of any mixture or all these things. Then definitely, and also we got very good result also. So private organizations also play a very good part for developing this biofloc fish farming. And I observed in UP and South India also, and Chhattisgarh, farmers are investing too much capital, almost 30-40 lakh for developing their own biofloc fish farm. And big, and some farmers are getting very uh, good fish production and good profit, but somewhere it's not that much popular because of some, in some farms they not having such type of design, and some farm they are misguided by some other, lot of issues is there also. And this farm is also located in Haryana. They are also um, invested a lot of money for establishing such type of infrastructure, indoor infrastructure. So in Haryana also, biofloc aquaculture or biofloc fish farming nowadays become more popular. Similarly, and in Gujarat also, this these structure is in Gujarat, and here farmers are also interested to doing biofloc fish farming, and they also getting very somewhere they also getting very good crop and production and profit as well. And but somewhere they also facing lot of heavy loss because of misguided by unauthorized persons and all these things. And such type of these structure already developed by the farmers, and they also getting uh, very good profit by using them. And most important question for adopting this technique, how much successful it is in the field, and it is practically second, is it practically good for income generation for long term for farmers? These are the main questions before any entrepreneur or any farmer doing or entered into the bioflow fish farming. Then these are the main question, because every farmer, if they are entered into in this business, they already think that the profit, yes, they think that this type of a structure, we directly stock how this much amount of fish, and after 5 to 6 months we will got this much of production, and we got this much of we will got this much of profit. And they thinking about the profit, and they entered into business, and they also spend their lot of capital, and their capital in infrastructure and all the expenditure. So if they are not getting such type of profit, then definitely they suffer or faces heavy loss. So most important, these two questions are very important, and I request all that scientific community also, that in practically lab and practically we are thinking it's a very easy technique. What happened, we are doing such in this way lot of technique is there, but in farmers they don't they are not that much friendly about the fish farming and these technique. They, even though they don't know about the probiotics, they don't know about the microorganism, they don't know about the carbon source and all these things. And that's why, because farmers are not knowing about the basic concept of bioflow, and they're doing or entered into this business, and because of lack of knowledge, they face heavy losses. And if any farmer face such type of loss, then definitely he also advised to other also that this business is not suitable. I also face lot of loss, and so you don't enter into this business. Then such type, if that's why all the scientific community, state agriculture university also need to be try to conduct such type of a training program that is directly helpful for the field. Then definitely it become more popular, because it's a very good technique. I also observed some farmers getting very good business in bioflow, but some farmers, almost 70% farmers facing heavy loss in bioflow, because lack of knowledge. And field performance of this technique is due to lack of knowledge, and maximum farmer facing heavy loss due to misguided by the unauthorized training centers. I observed in northern part of India, as well as in south and middle part of India, lot of training. If any farmer start their own fish farm, bioflow fish farm, they also simultaneously they also start a training institute, and they took a charge a particular fee, and they start training program for the farmer. And they also making their own concept without knowing the scientific base of bioflow. They also prepare some juice, pineapple juice containing the dairy probiotics, and some farmers preparing the papaya juice. Continuously they are making their own concept, and farmer doing this, and they selling in the name of their own product, and farmer also facing lot of loss. And that's why many farmers now using their biofloc setup, already they spend lot of money in for constructing or this infrastructure. Nowadays they are using for fish seed rearing, because of continuously facing losses. So this is the current situation. Actually, this is the current situation. Many farmers are afraid about the biofloc fish farming due to unauthorized or misguided by the unauthorized training centers. These are the current situation in the field. That's why this one is the main factor in the, how ICN institution and government already promoting continuously this. We are generating in paper. They make the money. If we are doing such type of business in these much of days, and then definitely we will get such type of business or this much of profit. This is not happen in reality. Actually, real situation is totally different from the field, this lab. So what I think, it is very much necessary to regulate the unauthorized training center or the that delivery of that concept of biofloc into the field. It is very much essential. As already Akshay sir and Salin sir did lot of work in Biofloc, but due to lack of that channel towards their lab to land, the channel is not that much proper in our India. Actually, that channel is not that much what can say that much powerful, or so farmers are not getting their lot of research and hard work directly into the field, because our scientists are doing too much research on biofloc fish farming and biofloc almost all concepts and all these things, how to rear, how farmers are getting profit. But the reality is maximum 70-75% farmers are not getting benefit through this technique, because of particular, if let's suppose 10,000 liter tank of biofloc, we are stocking 1,000 number of piece of fishes, and that earlier in 1 month or 2 months farmer, it's easily going on. There is no problem they seen. It's very good, and it's controlling each and every parameter is okay, no problem. And maximum training center also claim that this one is a zero water exchange and all these things, but after passing that 2 months or 60 days, then level of ammonia and that continuously fluctuating the water parameters and the disease outbreak, these are the main constant for developing this technique. And so it is very much essential for us also that no mean of any research, if we are working for farmer and we are not able to deliver this technique in proper way to the farmer, then what is the use of government of India also spending lot of money for developing such type of techniques, and farmer and our scientists also doing lot of hard work, and their human resource also spending too much time on the developing such type of techniques. But what is the use if we not directly deliver to the farmers, and it's not useful for the farmers, then what is the use of this technique? So it is very much essential and very much for my actually I that in my presentation, that the part is what is the current situation. Actually, current situation is 70% bad, and 30% farmer are getting good business in doing this bioflow, and that 70% why they are not getting business, because of lack of knowledge and misguided by the unauthorized training centers. And important step for farmers for getting benefit through this technique, first of all, taking training from authorized government or non-government centers. If our scientists or our training institute or our state agriculture university conducting such type of CIFE also, and Babita ma'am also conducting such type of the technical session, then definitely many farmers are benefited to this such type of session. And definitely I also observe they also continuously attending such type of seminar, and then definitely they are getting benefit through this technique. Otherwise, if they are moving here and there and taking training from anybody, any many farmers, biofloc fish farmer claim that we are in every year we are getting this much of business from this technique, and we are also conducting some training program, and that training program having that much charge. So actually their main business is training, not fish farming through bioflow. So be aware from such type of farmers and such type of training centers. This is the real situation. And if possible, take hands-on training from any authorized government or non-government centers, because in research or laboratory it is easy to manipulate or easy to conducting any research or easy to maintaining the technique, this water quality parameter. It's very easy because that a illiterate farmer, not that much familiar with the water quality parameters. So that is the main constant for developing this technique in India. And how that basic component of bioflow, what I think that probiotic strain is the basic component for successful. We are know that we spend almost 15-20 year in fisheries, and we think that it's very easy to maintaining ammonia and all these things, but farmer are not that much familiar with ammonia and probiotic concept. So we what are the parameters to identify this strain is good or this strain is bad? Because first of all, if anybody claims that bacteria they provide, that any company or any training center they provide bacteria, probiotic bacterial strain, that having the pure strain of specified bacteria, one thing. Second thing is contamination free. If any strain of bacteria containing pathogenic bacteria, then definitely it will hamper or it will create problem for the organism. And that particular probiotic should not disturb the aquatic ecosystem, because the all the bioflow fully depend on the food chain of aquatic environment. That's why that particular probiotic we are going to use in bioflow, that not should not disturb the aquatic ecosystem, and also effectively degrade all types of the organic waste. So it is very much essential that if that particular probiotic containing the enzymes, those are responsible for degrading that organic waste, so easily converted into the nutrients, and they also used for making the food chain, and maintaining the color and water quality parameters, improve FCR, defeat pathogenic bacteria. If the probiotic bacteria compete with the pathogenic bacteria, definitely disease not outbreak in their system, and work in all range of pH, salinity, and all these things. This is the very good. If that probiotic bacteria are working on such type of water quality parameters, then definitely it will be good. And also containing, as I already told, if any probiotic containing protease, lipase, amylase, then definitely it will be more good for using in bioflow. That's why private industry also take a good part their research and development nowadays as a bioflow fish farming. How to simplify this one? Actually, a lot of techniques is there, but farmers are mainly prefer the easy technique. How to easily maintain without because farmer not want to farmers not want to farmers are not want to go in the, not want to misguided by the any. So my observation and what finally what I said, that first of all we develop a particular we develop or we regulate our training centers of bioflow. Second thing, if State Agriculture University and ICR institution also conducting technical seminar or technical hands-on training program for the farmers, then definitely they got benefit. And third one also, private industry, good private industry, they having their own R&D units and R&D part in there. They also conducting very manufacturing good product strengths as well as good products for easily. If we are using such type of strength, then definitely farmer are maximum chances of farmer getting benefit through biofloc system. Hello?
Yeah, it's over, right? Dr. Ajay Kumar?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
over.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ajay Kumar,
Yes, yes.
for his valuable lecture. Rather, he had highly pointed out to a real menace that is happening in the biofloc culture system in India. Actually, that's a ground reality, what he had pointed out, which I also wanted to share. Many times people fall prey of this kind of setups, false training in unauthorized training institutes. So, which we have to control through public intervention, public institutes intervention. Thank you so much, and we will move on to the next speaker, Mr. Dev Tanu Barman, and he's CEO of Aqua Doctor Solutions, and mostly working on biofloc technology in northeastern India. I would like to invite him for a speech. Over to Mr. Dev Tanu Barman. Devtanu Barman. Mr. Devtanu Barman. Dr. Ajay Kumar, can you please stop screen sharing? Dr. Ajay Kumar, please stop screen sharing.
Yes, I think now I am audible. Thank you so much. Very good afternoon to everyone. I think many of you see me giving last during this lockdown period. I have speak more than I think 30 webinar, national and international on biofloc. I'm still young in this industry, but have lots of ground level of experience working with farmers. Though I am a fisheries professional, I left my government job. I came to private sector, understanding one aspect, because our farmers, they are not getting direct linkage of research to the ground reality. So that's why I started also working with 9 years experience in the field. Now recently I started my own company named Aqua Solution based at Kolkata. And I will share some of the important farmers reality in the ground, how farmers, they are getting, they're taking biofloc technology as a source of sustainable development change in their livelihood itself. So let me share my presentations. I will try my level best to address the things very easily, so that the presentation aspects, what I will address, can be understood by everyone here. So we'll talk about how biofloc fish farming in the economic perspective in eastern part of India. Basically, I work on eastern part of India, northeast and West Bengal side. And I will try my, my presentation, I will try my level best to address the farmer's perspective, taking this biofloc industry in their own way of farming models. And I'm working exclusively working on the biofloc for last 1.5 years in different places around in the India and outside the country as well. So let's go. I think my previous speakers, they have addressed very nicely about the biofloc concept, how it's worked out and every aspects too. But for me, the in fisheries, Panchatattva is very important, like 5 fingers in fisheries. Without that, we cannot do any kind of farming. One is good quality seed, that is genetics, good quality environment, good quality management, good quality food, and then it will lead to good quality health. If you do in fish in pond, if you do in fish in cage, if you do fish farming in biofloc, we have to be stick ourselves in this 5 point of understanding. Otherwise, it's very difficult to grow our fish in a long way. So these 5 points are very much important to understand. And it is also very thumb rule, we say in any aquaculture fish farming, the thumb rules are very important too. So I'm not going in details what is biofloc, how it is important and all, but let me talk about what kind of species we are looking for in the eastern part of the region for the biofloc fish farming. One is IMC, like Indian major carps, or maybe the Chinese carps. We are not promoting yet in biofloc system, but anybody wants to grow this fish into nursery to, you say, advanced fingerling stage, you can still use biofloc system. We are into that kind of projects also now. And also, but in biofloc, generally we are growing the fishes like different group of catfishes, like pangasius, tilapia, Vietnamese koi, desi magur, singi, and Tangra. In Tangra, we are now promoting mostly on Bulsa Tangra, and they are now more common in the biofloc fish farming model in the eastern part of India. And if you see the comparison between your traditional ponds based systems and a biofloc pond systems, if I just make it summarized, area requirement biofloc system very less, pond culture we need more, water exchange is very less. Pond culture also depends on less and more based on farming models. Water filtration is less here. Pond culture system also almost the same. Probiotic application biofloc system is very required, and pond culture system it's not always applicable. Energy requirement in biofloc system very high. Pond culture system is less. Feed requirement in biofloc system is less. Pond culture system is more. Expenditure in terms of biofloc system during the installation, it is more, but in pond culture based system is less. Production of fish 300 kg in 10,000 liter per tank. We are expecting, because we have received this kind of production from farmers field. That's why I am targeting this only. Pond culture system, we are going to get around 600 to 700 kg from one kind of pond. It's like 0.16 hectare. We are getting it in the eastern part of India. And why catfishes for biofloc? Already Dr. Selen sir and other speakers have addressed why we are choosing maybe tilapia and other species, because they can grow high density. They require very less DO requirement, and they have they have a compatibility to grow in high density in high turbid water as well, which is not applicable for our carps. And let's talk about some of the important points need to be understand while you are doing in biofloc, because apply more quantity of molasses or increase the quantity of water exchange if ammonia content rises more than 1 ppm. Indication how we can understand, it may be less bubbles or the froth formation will come in the surface, or maybe some bad smell will start coming up. Never use quick lime or the food grade salt in the biofloc culture tanks. Ensure 24/7 aeration facilities. It's better to treat the fishes separately for 1 to 2 days before stocking to the main culture tank, which we call as a hospital tanks. Probiotics generally applied one time at the beginning. If the water quality is fully deteriorated, then change the entire tank water or apply it again. So based on our management practice, we can understand when we can add probiotics. Monoculture of catfish can give better result based on your particular area where you are focusing your biofloc farming model, because now there is a concern now coming in the market. Farmers are not getting prices in the local areas of their particular fish. But always, before you start biofloc fish farming, try to identify your customer need, what kind of fish they are looking for, what kind of fish they prefer, what kind of sizes they prefer. Based on that, you start your culture. Otherwise, your project economic viability will not come. Small size of fish release more excreta, we know it, and from more ammonia also, and then fingerling size of fish leads to mortality in initial days if high ammonia content comes in the tank. It has been observed that most of the time we look for, small size fish, baby fish want to stock in our big culture tank. And after a few days, we have observed that there is a huge mortality comes in the small baby size after they stock the fish. It's better if you do small nursery management, growing the seed into bit bigger size, more than 2 inch, or maybe the size of a fingerling size, then stock the fish in your grow out culture tank will give you much more better result in the production. Remove the disease infected fish, otherwise there will be a heavy mortality comes in the long run. And temperature of the culture unit should always be higher side. That's what my other speaker also addressed. And the pH level also should be maintained very proper way, not highly acidic, not even highly alkaline. Floc formation is always better than in alkaline medium. Rainwater should be avoided if, now we are doing some projects in the hill eastern states in the northeastern region, where groundwater availability is very less. We are trying to take the rainwater harvesting model, then treating the rainwater and making into fish culture water quality management aspects. Then we use that water after doing the treatment for our main culture tank. That's also possible. But the direct rainwater should not be fell down in your tank. Otherwise, pH changes, things will come, fish will not take proper food and all. Culture unit should not be direct contact of sunlight. Otherwise, there will be high algal biomass bloom will be there. That algae will start taking the oxygen from your tank and will also create lots of secondary infection problem. Try to maintain high carbon nitrogen ratios. It is always advised higher the carbon nitrogen ratios, better the management practice. Sanitizer with microcytical properties is very important, because now in winter, lots of cases we have received that lots of bacterial infection, fungal infection comes in the fishes. So it's always do proper sanitation, consulting with the right person of right treatment procedures. Apply molasses if floc formation is less, or stop feeding rate or frequency, or dilute the water, remove the water if the floc formation is more. So it depends basically. I will always advise you, if there is a high floc formation in your tank, try to do alternative feeding management. Don't just let your water or the floc water go out, because it's an investment of money. Maybe you can do management like today you stop feeding, next day you just give only 20 to 30% of total feeding. Then again you stop one day. Try to use the floc for your fish as a source of food. Then expected level of production for fish is 300 kg in a 10,000 liter, which we have observed, we have recorded from farmers field in 3 to 4 months, depend on different kind of fish species. And food conversion ratio also we have observed is 0.8 to 0.9, which is much more better. Even if the water quality management is good, this 0.6 to 7 also we have received for some highly carnivorous fish species. And for production of 300 kg of fish, we need basically 200 kg of protein rich pellet for the whole cycle of period. And in that period of time, we need basically, protein level may start from 32% protein. You can come down 30, 28, and 26 like that. You can manage your protein level also the feed. For catfish, always try to maintain the water depth 3 feet. If the water depth is higher, there's a energy loss problems comes in the catfishes. Okay, compared to the cemented tank, is always better to be used circular kind of tanks. if you talk about the expenditure, I just like to make in a general expenditure model because the fixed asset cost you are investing for 5 years is not for 1 year, but the production what I am showing you is a production for 6 months. Okay. So 6 months of cycle of production. What are the fixed costs? If you see construction of the tank using all these bricks and starting from pH meter, TDS, and all these things all together, we are investing almost 75,000. And then the variable cost means for running cost. Single crop means the 6-month cropping cycle. Okay, but before that, 4 months also we can sell out, but I am taking into 6-month considerations. Probiotics, water preparation, molasses, salt, fish fry, and all together, seed cost, feed cost, all together. I take the feed cost because eastern part of India, we have paid higher price of feed than the compared to other part of India. So altogether, if you see, the investment of total expenditure comes almost 1,06,000 rupees. Okay, the total fixed cost asset is investment for 5 years. And if you see the production is 300 kg targeting 50 to 60 gram of koi fish. I just took an example. If I sell that 300 rupees, because eastern part of India, we are able to get some good prices compared to the southern or maybe the central part of India, or the northern part of India. Because here the fish, they like to take more kind of air-breathing fishes like that. So if you see the all together, the profit margin excluding the fixed cost and the including the fixed cost is still profitable in a single crop itself. So my point of understanding by saying, addressing you that this is a profitable venture compared to running this system into a pond-based management system. So let's see what kind of some of the farmers field activities, photos of ours. We are doing lots of ground level farming activities throughout eastern part of India, and also we are trying to bring down lots of different field of people into this sector to bring down the success. This is a model. We are now starting a hatchery biofloc based hatchery management practice in Anand Krishi Khamar in West Bengal, where the small baby fish there we are trying to utilize the flock as a source of feed to them rather than using the direct hatchery feed to them, which is available commercial. Even cemented tanks models are also now applicable in different places. People are trying to use the cement system tanks. These are the some polylining ponds also people are using, where I think Selen sir also, Dr. Selen also addressed that there are two models. One is green water, the brown water. So if we put the shade in the top, we can even still manage some green water technologies here. Indoor facilities are also now people are using it. And empowerment women are also now through Biofloc we are doing it. Let's go and see some of the case studies of the Biofloc techniques, how the farmers they are doing it. The person is having 3 tanks of 10,000 liters, the tarpaulin based tanks, and the person stock, Mr. Jitandas, is koi, tilapia, and IMC some fry size. Stocking density, he has 6,000 numbers for tilapia and the koi, IMC 3,000 numbers he have kept. Rearing period, DOC, day of culture, is 4 months, and the floating feed 1 mm, 2 mm use 2% of body weight. And approx FCR is 0.8 to 0.9. You have to observe that the cost of feed is 36,000. And if you see that quantity of the harvest is almost koi 300 kg, tilapia 250 kg, and IMC almost 100 kg. So if you see altogether, the sale of fish is 2.5 lakhs in a period of 4 months. Mortality was there, very few due to the transportation things, but still is in a good phase of profitability in a 4 months of culture cycle. Let's see, Mr. Manik Majumdar, what is the cement system tanks where he stock koi for 3 months, 6,500 numbers, okay, in 1 tank. And he also used floating pelleted feed 1 mm to 2 mm, 2% body weight. Feed cost though is very high, is 80 rupees, and the approx production he was able to produce 120 kg in the period of 3 months. And sale of fish almost 400 rupees 50 kg. So he's also got not very huge profit, but still he's able to get his recurring cost of inputs by selling the fish on the rate of 400 rupees due to some mortality was happened, but still in a good shape. Sri Rakesh Majumdar, he's also using tarpaulin-based tank where he's producing Singi and Koi. And Singi was 6,000 number in 10,000 liter tank, Koi was 6,000 number in 10,000 liter tank, Singi was 8 months, Koi was 4 months of culture cycle. In this period of time, his the FCR was 0.8 to 0.9, cost of feed was 55 rupees, Singi was total harvestation was 120 kg in 5 months, Koi was 70 kg in 2 months, Koi approx production was 200 kg. So in this period, if you see that total investment was 1.5 lakh for each tank, 3 lakhs for the 2 tanks, sale of fish was 70,000. Though his production quantity in the very beginning was less due to the heavy mortality was observed 3% to 4%, but he was able to get his recurring cost output through the management practice. The last I will address about one fellow Srikanta Dash. He produced Mr. Gulio Tangra in a 2 tarpaulin based tanks with common carb. We have observed also based on season based farming model, if we develop in Biofloc system, is going to be much more profitable than just going into only Vietnam Koi. So Mr. Gulio culture was 6 months, common carb cycle was 2 months. And if you see the quantity of the fish harvested, 100 kg of your Mr. Gulio common carb was 30 kg in a period of only 3 months of period of time. And he's not yet completely sold out the whole fish, but he's also got some mortality. 50% of mortality was observed, but still he's into profitable shape of his production, whatever he has produced. Many authors, they have addressed the point like why Biofloc fish farming in India today not taking into a model of production is for many reasons. We have tried to simplify the thoughts into some points. One is unusual lecture without any concept. We have been observed doing ground level of activities, saying that many people are there, they are just making farmers, I should not say fool, but they are making farmers something like through Biofloc fish farming, farmer will be millionaire within a period of 1 year. This is not possible. And unauthentified training center where even the person is not into fisheries for a long period of time, and he's not even have a professional degree of a fisheries, but he start giving lectures and addressing farmers now on fish farming management, something like, fish farming is something like a water. Anybody can drink it any place you want. And some imaginary profits, I have been observed, even my previous speaker also addressed in the northern part of India, I have observed people have invested huge of money just making 100 tanks to 200 tanks of Biofloc, but they don't have even the farm boys or the technical hands to run this whole project. So just they understand there is a huge money of fish, they have invested the money into that, but afterwards now they are in a shape of loss, and ultimately they are blaming the industry people like us who are into these professions, and now blaming like fisheries is not a suitable business to be anchored in the long run. Be aware from these virtual trainers without concept. Now YouTube and social media, they make people, all are fish expert. It seems like, I feel like in coming 10 years, India will have all the fish experts who will be running worldwide consultancy experts, it seems. But I like to say to everyone that fish is a biological animal. And understanding a biological animals is not very easy just going through social media or YouTube. You have to get inside the pond, feel the reality of the fish farming when you are inside the pond, feel the mud of the pond in your feet, then you can be expert also in coming days. And be aware from fish quack doctors. Now many people after getting training, now they become the big trainer and they start giving lectures. So be aware of the people to whom you are consulting. Try to understand their professional careers, professional background, then only invest your money. Choose your best, that is on your hand, and by choosing the best only you can save the farmers in coming days. Thank you so much. I hope in my presentation, with a short period of understanding, I try to address whatever is happening in this sector in a simpler way so that my young generation people who are coming into this industry should understand this is a vast subject of understanding. You need vast knowledge and experience. Then only you invest your money for a profitable way. Then you'll be also a successful aquapreneurs in coming days. Thank you so much. Best wishes to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Devtanu Burman, for your very energetic presentation on various ground reality of this particular farming technology. And we see both pros and cons of this technology with you through your presentation. Thank you so much. We'll move on to our next speaker. I would like to invite Dr. Devika Pillai, Professor and Head, Aquatic Animal Health and Management Division, Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, Kerala. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon to all of you. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I should first of all apologize to all of you for shifting my talk to the last, because I was attending another workshop. But anyway, it is good that I got a last slot here, because after the scientific sessions of Dr. Salin and Dr. Panigrahi, we had a glimpse of the Biofloc systems run by in the private sector. And my talk is going to be different, and how the government institutions, what actually Dr. Ajay was rightly pointing out, that government needs to step in to guide the farmers properly. So I would like to take you through a story that the state of Kerala, the government of Kerala took the initiative to do so. Through the Biofloc farming. So I would like to take you through the experiment that all of us are involved in. Yeah. Yes. As I said, I will take you through a journey, which is the project. Recently, the Chief Minister of Kerala had announced a project called Subiksha Keralam, which means, which was intended to make the state self-sufficient in terms of food production. So when the Subiksha Keralam project was announced, when this COVID pandemic happened in the country, see, Kerala is very different from the other states in that we have a lot of NRI population. And when the COVID struck, all these NRI people and all the other speakers were saying, the IT professionals, many others professional fields, they had lost their jobs and they returned to the state. So it was a real problem that was faced by the state. And so the government took up in a big way the Subiksha Keralam project for agriculture with animal production as well as fisheries, fish production. So we had at the university, actually I'll skip through the initial slides, because many of the speakers before me had pointed out the advantages of Biofloc technology. As most of you are now familiar with, we can do this aquaculture, fish culture, even with limited land, which is where for Kerala it is very, very relevant, because it's a small state with very less land, and the land is very expensive. So, and therefore, if we could do aquaculture in a very limited land setup, it was an ideal system to propagate. And also water use efficiency, that goes for all states, that we need to limit our water use. So both the conditions, that is less land and less water system, was the answer was a Biofloc.
Ma'am, can I interfere? Your slide is not at shared.
Oh, it's not shared?
No.
Okay, okay. One second. Can you see it now?
No, ma'am, no, not yet.
1 second.
Yes, ma'am, it's come.
It's come? Okay,
Yeah, yes.
thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I think you heard me so far. So I can go to the next slide. You can hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, yes, we can hear.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, so as I was telling you, Biofloc aquaculture was permitted most people to do aquaculture, and there were actually there were a lot of youngsters who had returned back to the state and who were there in the state who had lost their jobs and were looking for another alternative. And also, so this project, when it came, the Subiksha Keralam project from the university side, we had started experiments in Biofloc technology using a very low cost units, which I will now show you in the subsequent slides. So we had found that it was a very feasible venture to suggest to the farmers. And why we did this is because in Kerala also, as Mr. Burman was telling, that there were a lot of private people who were fleecing the farmers and youngsters with saying a lot of false promises that they could make a lot of money. So they were giving training programs and charging huge amount as training fees, and then finally it all met with failures. So they even in the social media, there was a lot of trashing about this Biofloc technology, calling it Bioflop technology. So it was a challenge for the university to find out. Of course, the scientific basis we knew, so we wanted to prove that this could be done in a proper way. So we know, as all those who have been familiar with this Biofloc technology, we know we get very good survival rates, we get very good growth performance and better FCR. So the biggest advantage being that you could reduce the amount of feed that is being given, and therefore, and also because you can reduce the protein content of the feed that is being given, you can also reduce the cost of feed, which is the major expenditure in any aquaculture system. It also reduces the pressure on capture fisheries, and therefore extremely attractive in that way that we don't have to depend. We can use formulated feed and get maximum production from the minimum area. So coming to the Biofloc experience that I will take you through. As I told you, we set up not a cement system. We went for more environment friendly systems. So it was a collapsible elevated tank. Some of the pictures you have already seen from the other speakers. We did, we said in the Subiksha Keralam project, what was suggested is a 5-meter dia system. The normal system which was being practiced was a 4-meter dia system. So it gives you 10,000 liters. It's actually 12 cubic meter of water. So 12,000. So it holds 10,000 liters of water. And so in the Subiksha Keralam project, it was a slightly bigger tank, which was suggested. A 5-meter dia tank was suggested. So holding more water. So the normal, what I was telling you earlier, that the private, some of the companies which were propagating Biofloc, they were advising very high stocking densities. So we were careful about that, and we suggested a slightly lower stocking density so that the newcomers in the field would be careful and would be able to handle it much better. 450 to 550 GSM liner was suggested, and so this just a few pictures showing how you can very easily set up a biofloc unit, and this is behind our university itself, where you have a central drain, a slight slope, and you put the mesh, and within a day you can set up a biofloc tank. Yeah, this is how the aeration system being set up. And one thing that, as speaker said before, because this biofloc unit depends on the heterotrophic community, I mean, the microbial flora is a heterotrophic community, we need to give a shade net. So we saw that during the process, during our project itself, we saw that where people did not put up a shade net, as Dr. Panigrahi was rightly pointing out, it goes into the autotrophic system, but it can be converted to the heterotrophic system easily. I would like to point out some of the important critical parameters that we faced during the in a biofloc system. Water quality maintenance and regular monitoring is the key to the success of a biofloc unit. Temperature, of course, as in any aquaculture system, temperature, dissolved oxygen, pH, salinity, total suspended solids and settling solids, and alkalinity, very important. So these are the parameters that require a lot of care and importance in maintaining. Alkalinity, I will be speaking more about that. Yes, so in a what is a problem in a biofloc technology, biofloc aquaculture, is that we require uninterrupted electricity and their uninterrupted aeration, because as again Dr. Salin and Dr. Panigrahi said, the oxygen consumption being more, you cannot do without aeration. Therefore, we should, before you start a biofloc unit, you should ensure that you have uninterrupted power supply for giving aeration throughout the culture period. And also, what is important is when you fix the aeration system, you should take adequate care that the mixing is uniform and there are no dead pockets in the culture system. Because of the increased oxygen consumption in a biofloc unit, the response time that you get if in case of a power failure is less, and because of the increased respiration and oxygen consumption. So you need to be extra careful about that, and you need to have a backup for seeing that you are not without aeration for a longer period of time. As I told you in the just a minute earlier, alkalinity, in our experience, alkalinity was a problem in Kerala in the that we faced. So why is alkalinity so important in a biofloc system? As the earlier speakers, when they were talking about the principles of biofloc technology, they very rightly explained that because of the increased carbon dioxide and carbon uptake, the alkalinity falls, and therefore you need to maintain the alkalinity regularly. You need to monitor the alkalinity and see that the alkalinity does not go below a particular level throughout your culture period. What is alkalinity? It is the buffering capacity of water and represents the amount of carbonates and bicarbonates. And it is expressed as milligram per liter equivalent of calcium carbonate. But as I said, alkalinity can vary from site to site. In Kerala, what was surprising, and it was a learning experience for us, that in many places in Kerala, the alkalinity in the freshwater system was very low. unusually low actually, as Dr. Babita would agree, because she's also in the, I will explain about that later. Yeah. So it is preferable to keep the alkalinity above 100 milligram per liter, definitely above 75 mg per liter. So what do we do when the alkalinity falls to abnormally low levels? What we can do to bring up the alkalinity quickly is what we could add sodium bicarbonate. But to maintain the alkalinity, what we have found, we would suggest is to put dolomite or calcium carbonate, which would release I mean, there won't be sudden changes. It will be a gradual change, but you can maintain the alkalinity more. You have more control over the system, and you can maintain the alkalinity more properly. So we have been advising the practitioners to monitor the alkalinity regularly and use calcium carbonate to maintain the alkalinity. So why is high alkalinity preferred in a biofloc system? It is a nutrient element for nitrifying bacteria. So higher values of alkalinity will help the nitrogen assimilation by heterotrophic bacteria and nitrification process by chemoautotrophic bacteria. Since the system of biofloc is very different from the normal pond condition based on autotrophic system, this becomes all the more important because that is one of the reasons why alkalinity drops very quickly, and you have to supplement that and keep maintaining the alkalinity. And very important, another aspect of maintaining the alkalinity is that it provides buffering capacity. Extremely important. Having worked in health management for more than 2 decades now, I understand that for maintaining the health of the aquatic animals, we should see that there are not very little pH fluctuations. So if alkalinity is low, then the buffering capacity of the water is less, and therefore pH can fluctuate. And therefore, it is also very important to see that pH is maintained. Most of us who are into aquaculture know the importance of pH and how low pH can affect the health of the cultured animal. And therefore, for that reason also, it is very important that you should maintain alkalinity to provide adequate buffering capacity in your biofloc tank. Another very important aspect of this when you do biofloc aquaculture is maintaining ammonia and nitrite. As the earlier speakers were pointing out, maintaining ammonia and nitrite is a challenge which farmers have been facing. But as explained earlier, you can control ammonia using by providing carbon source. And you can see, we have seen that when you give adequate carbon source, the ammonia comes down within hours, or if not a day, it can definitely come down, and you can control the ammonia and nitrite. And so as I think Dr. Burman was saying, that giving excess feed is sometimes a problem, leading to excess of ammonia. So we need to manage the feed cost, I mean the quantity of feed that is given, and that is something I think you must tell the farmers that we have to do proper feed management, because of the protein that is provided by the microbial community. The quantity of feed to be given is, you can reduce significantly, and maybe give it more frequently so that it is assimilated better. If you allow the ammonia to build up even slightly, see, what I would like to point out here is what you're measuring with an ammonia measuring kit is the total ammoniacal nitrogen and not the ammonia as such. So the TAN can go, the maximum level that the tank can go up to is 3 ppm. So when you are measuring with a kit, if your ammonia goes beyond that, you are in for trouble. So what happens from the health perspective is that ammonia causes stress and gill damage to the fish and shrimp. So that it's very important. It is a killer when it is present in higher concentration, and it can also lead to production losses. Therefore, you need to monitor ammonia also continuously in a biofloc system. Toxicity of ammonia increases when pH and temperature rises, and therefore in summertime you need to be more careful with the ammonia levels. Ammonia can also make the fish and shrimp more prone to bacterial or fungal infections and also to poor growth. So you need, so all the more important. So as I told you, you can control the buildup of ammonia with by adding carbon source. And for reducing 1 ppm of TAN, we need to add 20 milligram carbon source. Jaggery is found to be better. Sugar is expensive. Jaggery, fermented jaggery is a very good source, but again, that is also expensive. So it depends on local availability of carbon sources. Another thing that you should be careful about is the total settling solids and suspended solids, which you measure with an Imhoff cone. You can even make it and measure the cone and allow it to settle, especially in the initial phases. Just make sure that the settled volume does not exceed 5 to 15 in the case of tilapia, because excess of suspended solids can lead to gill occlusion and increased dissolved oxygen consumption. So that is something we need to take care. So if you see that your biofloc floc quantity is increasing too much, you need to reduce, maybe release water from a little bit of water, switch off the aeration for some time, allow the floc to settle, let out the excess of floc, and take in some extra water and control the floc in that manner, reduce the feeding for a day or two, and control the floc to a great extent in that manner. So that is doable. If as you get more and more experience, it is a thing which can be controlled. So optimum would be to maintain it around 20 to 25, even up to 40 should be fine. Yeah. So what are the fishes that are suited? I think we will skip this because earlier we are running short of time, and tilapia is what we experimented with. Actually, what the Subiksha Keralam project, the State Fisheries Department had decided that they would go step by step and not lead the farmers suddenly to, or encourage the farmers to take up different species of fishes. So tilapia has a good market in Kerala. So it was a good decision to go for tilapia in the first phase of this Subiksha Keralam project. So tilapia in 5-meter dia ponds were suggested. Now university is going, trying with other species to standardize and take it to the, transfer the technology to the farmers through Fisheries Department. So we have advised the department along with the university, CIFE and KVK, together we are in this project. We have very strictly told the farmers that they should go only for tested seed. That the seed that they stock should be healthy, of uniform size, and it should be screened for OIE listed diseases. And in the case of tilapia, we have insisted that they should go for tilapia lake virus or TILV screening. So we have been doing that. We have been helping with helping the farmers test the seed for TILV. Biofloc, again, as a nutritional, so what we found is that the tilapia produced by Biofloc is very tasty, and and in Kerala it has been getting a very good market. The tilapia that is raised by Biofloc, people are waiting to get the fish, and even by the time fish reaches about 200 grams, they are asking for the fish. And from the farmers or from the entrepreneur's site itself, they come there, collect the fish live, and they say it is very tasty because of the higher. We can definitely understand that because of the higher lipid that is there in the Biofloc system, that is probably giving the better taste for the tilapia. So and so nutritionally also, Biofloc raised fish, as Dr. Panigrahi very nicely showed, that Biofloc raised fish and shrimp have better immune system and could withstand diseases much better. So for human health also, Biofloc raised fish could be better because of better protein, lipid, carbohydrate, vitamins, and minerals. Ash represents minerals, so it could be better in terms of mineral content also, and good for human health. Now, I would like to stress about the success of our Biofloc project. What I would like to highlight here is the success of multi-institutional collaboration. How the knowledge that different institutions have, the expertise that different institutions have, could be put to the right use and for the benefit of the farmers by coming together in a very good manner. So university and the State Fisheries Department of Kerala brought together experts from different fields. So here Dr. K.R. Salin from AIT, Dr. Babita, who has several years of experience working in Biofloc systems in the freshwater aquaculture system. She was brought as a resource person. Dr. Pradeep from KVK, he is working in Kozhikode in Kerala. He, along with myself and my team from Kufos, we did an initial training for the fisheries department officials. So I just wanted to highlight, so I'm taking you step by step to understand how systematically it was planned. Okay, so the initial training program organized by our university, the Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, we organized a program on May 30. During the peak COVID time, we organized this, and it was an online and offline training program. You can see that the resource persons, you can see Babita here taking a class on introducing the Biofloc technology to the fishery. All these people that you see on the top right, top left are the fisheries department officials representing the 14 districts from Kerala, and Dr. Salin here taking a class on Biofloc again from AIT. This was a practical session where the fisheries department officials were given a hands-on training on setting up a very low-cost, simple Biofloc unit tank that I spoke to you earlier. Then, after which, after obtaining the initial training, hands-on as well as the online training on the theoretical aspects of Biofloc, there was an official launch of this Biofloc training program by the Honorable Minister for Fisheries, Srimati Mercy Kutiyamma, which was a very, very successful program in that it received a lot of attention and was attended by over 1,000 farmers and entrepreneurs from all over the state, and not only from the state, but because of the social media reach, we came to know that even people from Canada and Australia attended the training program, and there were so many queries, and just going to show that there is a lot of interest for this particular innovative aquaculture practice, and a lot of people are ready to venture into this. Only thing is, we have to take them through this very carefully and not mislead them. So as the Dr. Ajay and Mr. Berman were saying, we have to give them very guided information and very scientifically we have to take them forward. So in this training program, in the 14 districts, 20 farmers were selected for the practical training in different aspects of this Biofloc training. The department restricted to 20 because of the COVID protocols. We could not increase the number. So the rest of them attended online. 20 people attended even the hands-on practical training which followed. After which, so the department was very, how the department took it forward is, these 14 districts where the department officials got the training program were guided by a technical advisory committee, which was constituted by the government of Kerala, and the team consisted of Dr. Babita from ICRCIFE, Dr. Pradeep from KVK, and myself from the university. A WhatsApp group was formed with the department officials who were involved in this project, as well as the technical team. And a demonstration unit was set up in mid-July in each of these districts. The department was particular that the state department demonstration unit should be ahead of the farmers unit, so that the department officials know exactly what will so that they could troubleshoot in case of problems. They could troubleshoot properly, and they would know the plus and minus, pros and cons of the doing a culture system in when you are advising farmers to take up a system. What would be the pros and cons? They should know exactly by doing. So that is why they set up the initially itself a demonstration unit for the farmers to see in each of these 14 districts. And the officials had to update the technical team on the progress made. How much was the weight, how much is the ammonia, how much is the alkalinity, everything they had to update during weekly and monthly meetings, and the problems were discussed during monthly meetings. It was done so systematically. I'm so proud and so happy that the government's system, if it wills, can do take up an initiative in such an excellent manner. So at present, the present result in this demonstration unit is we have completed 4 months of the culture system. Survival is much above 90%. I've just put it as an average 90%. The growth rate maximum is 400 grams. Average is 350 grams. So we are getting very good results in the system, and very, very promising. So it is something which can be taken up by other states. So this is something I would like to stress upon, that close coordination from scientists, from state and central government institutions, including the university, from ICR institutions, State Agriculture University, along with the State Fisheries Department, can do wonders for our country. And to increase our aquaculture production of the country, this is the way forward. So this is an example of how successfully we can take this forward even during COVID times. Yeah. However, I mentioned only the rosy side of this. Now, some problems that we faced or we are facing is some of the farmers, everybody needs quick results. So what happens is some people go back to the unscientific method of flock preparation. The fisheries department has insisted that they should, all those who require subsidy or who are part of this Subiksha Keralam project, as well as the PMMSY project, should follow the scientific method of flock preparation. in this particular thing, what is sometimes creating problems is the soil used for flock preparation. We have advised them to take the soil from a productive pond, but sometimes what happens is they take soil from wherever is possible, and when they take from a marshy land, which is a waterlogged area, it can run to problems because there could be harmful bacteria, and in such cases we have been seeing problems of disease occurrence in biofloc units. Water quality maintenance, they are only learning because they have just started, and so sometimes ammonia buildup, alkaline tea falls have created some problems. We have been giving solutions and advising them. A lot of hand-holding is required. And one major issue that I think scientists also should look into is the poor quality of fish seed that is coming. Because of this extra push for aquaculture and lot of people going in for tilapia culture, so much of tilapia seed is coming into the state, much of which is not regulated, or the quality is not regulated. So poor quality of fish seed is a problem, real problem that the farmers are facing. Actually, very sorry state of affairs. That so that is something which all of us have to look into, that we have to see that when you are propagating aquaculture, we have to give them good quality seed. Ensure good quality of seed is something very important. And probably because of that, and also maybe slightly management issues, we are seeing differential growth rate in the biofloc unit, something which needs to be addressed. But of course, even with differential growth rate, what they can do is they can harvest the bigger ones and sell it there, so that they can avoid the economic loss. Some glimpses of the demonstration units in different districts, which I would like to share with you, is so you can see how much the fish has grown. Uniform sized fish that they have got. This was after three months, Babita. After 3 months, I think we got this. Yeah, this is another video of feeding and how much the production. You will get an idea of the kind of production that is we are getting. It gives you so much happiness. That sound of fishes coming to feed gives you so much happiness. I keep looking at this video often. Yeah, one more. This is so the three videos from 3 different districts, just to give an idea of how well the demonstration units are going and how well a project can be implemented. So I really hope and wish that other districts, I mean other states also would come forward to do, I mean, this close networking with state department, universities, College of Fisheries, and central institutes like SIFI and SIBA, with so many experts with years of experience in biofloc, could definitely help the farmers in going a big way. Together we can do it. We can increase the aquaculture production of our country. Thank you. And I thank Dr. Babita and the organizers for giving me the opportunities to share this results of our project to a wider audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Devika ma'am. It's very informative and excellent presentation on Subiksha Kerala project. Actually, I'm also so happy to see our project, which we are happily doing with in such a high coordination with Government of Kerala Fisheries Department. We are very happy to share the information that it's actually possible with such a coordination with universities and scientific institutions, rather than creating a havoc to the farmers field by making their investment into lows. Here we are getting a very good, wonderful results, and the farmers are very happy in 14 districts of Kerala. Whoever has taken up this, along with proper thorough monitoring by fisheries officials. This is not without any official intervention, because each and every step officials are behind them for monitoring it. And we are very much thankful to our Joint Director of Fisheries and various Director of Fisheries and various other fisheries officials who are directly involved in this project. So I'm very happy that, ma'am, you could share this thing to the wider network of audience. It is a model. It's actually can call us a Kerala model, which can be projected for other states of India, so that we will be Subiksha India, rather more than Kerala, we will become Subiksha India too. So it's a wonderful, you can say, model for making us self-sufficient in fish production. Thank you so much, ma'am. Here we can go ahead with the discussions. In the meantime, I'm sharing some feedback form here and chat box. Kindly do the feedback if you can do it fast. At the same time, some discussions we can continue. There are a few raised hands. 10 minutes we'll spend for discussions. Like Rajendra Hirave, you have raised hands. Can you just talk about it? Anyone? It's open for discussion, and I have you can unmute and talk if any queries or any suggestions. You can raise hand and you can also unmute and talk if you want.
Babita,
yes, ma'am.
Can you please excuse me, because I am being called for another meeting.
Okay.
Can you please excuse me, because if there are questions, because Babita, you are very much there in the project and leading the fisheries department officials through this. So any questions on this, definitely you can take and you can answer. I take leave. Please excuse me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, please?
I'd like to know if what are the challenge, if there is any challenge in growing shrimps in biofloc technologies.
Actually, Dr. Panigrahi, who was shrimp expert in Biofloc technology, had left, but still I can add to this certain concepts like shrimp. Still, we are hopefully doing. We are in semi-biofloc system, not the actual heterotrophic based biofloc system. We are very well into semi-biofloc, where algal production is also there along with rather it is almost equivalent to green water technology. So because we cannot go for a very high density in shrimp indoor system.
Yeah, Dr. Babita, I'm fortunately here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that meeting.
Sure, we can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So definitely, shrimp, as you understand, you cannot expect a production level of very high, like in fish, tilapia and all. We say 30 kg, 40 kg, or 50 kg per ton of water. That is not possible here. Here we are looking for only maximum world level also 10 to 12 kg per ton we have got, and here 5 to 6 kg, 7 kg is possible. That is the first deterrent. When many people they jump into shrimp, they also think it should be like in that level and the production of 90 kg, 100 kg per ton. That is not possible here. And the basic reason is that the tolerance of the shrimp for any nitrite or ammonia level is very less compared to the fish, because so that is one of the reason. And the other thing also, the total suspended solid. In case of fish, you can go up to 30, 40, like all these biofloc uncontrollable. Once biofloc started forming, it is only how to control that. because it goes to very high level sometimes. In fish, it is possible they can tolerate, but shrimp cannot tolerate perhaps more than 200 ppm of that TSS. It means like even 10 to 15 ml beyond that of biofloc will be clogging the gill, and all the problems start from that pond. So that is also another challenging thing for the shrimp in biofloc. But still, nevertheless, many successful model is there for biofloc based shrimp farming throughout the world, even the from Belize, Indonesia, or Thailand, and many places. And in India also, several farmers, they are following very strictly this, and they are, and most successful part is the biofloc based nursery, shrimp nursery, because shrimp, many diseases, it is in the early stage, early mortality happens, and the survival also they lose. But biofloc, it's a natural probiotic system, so very very successfully it can be done the nursery phase in a small compact area of 100-ton tank. Also you can have a production of 5 lakh seeds can be raised up to 1 month, and that give you a added time also, in the culture period. If one can go with biofloc nursery, maybe instead of 2 crop they can go for 3 crop, and the survival and all is another advantage. And there is a compensatory growth which I was telling. The shrimp grown in a biofloc nursery or in the nursery, when they are stocked, they will be growing very fast compared to the other normally stocked shrimp in the pond. So these are all the positive part of that one. So anyway, there is a long way to go, and we are looking for more and more participants to follow this biofloc based shrimp.
Dr. Panigri sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have one question. How we process that biofloc as a feed to a fish, and when, because the waste is also come now when we go with the process, when we are taking that flock from the tank, then there is some process of sanitization and other type of a thing to make the feed of that flock.
Actually, sir, when we tell processing or harvesting this flock for a particular purpose, like making it a feed ingredient, it should be like hygienically collected in the like losing out those sand particles. Suppose in a pond or in a pond which is not tarpaulin based pond, in a pond normal earthen pond, if you see the biofloc nucleus itself, it may contain some kind of clay and some kind of other particles which will definitely added to the ash content in that feed. Somebody had asked that question also. The ash content is a limitation in the biofloc meal. Definitely the ash percentage will be more, and that is the limitation. And for that, if it is collected properly in a microcosm tank, where the it is in a controlled condition in a small tank based system, where with a proper harvester, if it is collected in its growing phase, then it can be used. And also the percentage, we are not telling about using some 20% of the fish meal can be replaced, though it is having a very high good amount of protein in it, 20 to 40% protein. But still we are looking for, like some study our Dr. Saini and all in the CIFE they have done also. They say the percentage of this biofloc inclusion in the feed as ingredient could probably good when it is 4 to 6% and all at this stage. But for that also it should be collected very hygienically without like avoiding the sludge and all. That's why we have also a biofloc harvester. If somebody want also, we can make it available, the design and all, so that it can be collected, and those who can process and do it properly. But in that count also, I would also tell that many commercial feed which is put for the fish, at least for shrimp anyway, it is a high graded feed with 90-100 rupees, and there is no question of any kind of ash or dust or anything. But the feed which is available in the market probably at 25-30 rupees, if you find there would be lot of dust and lot of ash and all these things also. Compared to that, this could be perhaps a better ingredient and to be made, but it should be properly collected, and the percentage inclusion should be also limited. It's not that you can put any amount of biofloc meal.
Sir, one more question. If we go with the home feed, like we prepare our own home feed, and we give that feed to our this in biofloc tank to our fishes, this is my query. So, what your view on that, sir, as compared to commercial feed?
Yeah, you can give like the homemade feed. You can try in the biofloc tank. That is all possible. Only problem here is, see, even I'll tell you the most important studies with regard to the biofloc when it was conducted in the pond. You can find a one terminology, they say grain pellet. Grain pellet is nothing but is a all these carbohydrate like atta and this multigrain, whatever you say, those carbohydrate they put into with some soya, they put into some kind of pellet which is a carbohydrate source, and they started along with the feed, a normal pellet feed, they give this carbohydrate, this is called grain pellet also. So there the water stability is knowingly kept as only 15 to 20 minutes. So what I'm telling at the home also, with nowadays 25-30,000 you get some kind of feed manufacturing unit, small unit. If you use that and properly, you can make a feed with nowadays formulas are available, and with relatively good water stability, it should work fine in a biofloc tank also. Only thing, all the regulations or restriction of feeding, overfeeding should be avoided, and all those things should be followed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Panigrahi sir. If no more discussion, we can
Just
go ahead.
one last question. What is the frequency of water exchange, and when do we understand that water exchange is required in biofloc?
Yeah. So water exchange actually depending on the species. The norm here is that every day we advise that every day or every alternate day you must take out some bottom water in the process, that all the whatever biofloc sludge and all should be removed. The other day, I'll tell just a small example. In Odisha, one of my farmer friend, they started doing, or some consultant, they told them to do the biofloc in this winter period itself. In the November December they started, and for 70 days somehow nobody told them, they are the beginners, they have never did any water exchange, telling that we are putting lot of like very good like jaggery and this chemical, this mineral for shrimp and all. We also advise your calcium, magnesium, potassium, everything should be added in the water. So finally they thought this water is very precious, will not exchange that one. And what happened, bottom there was a layer of the sludge was there, and there was no proper growth in this one. Then another someone as a consultant, he came and he just entered the tank, and he just tried to find out whether there is any because they have not exchanged so far, and so what is the problem. So he, in that process, he has just tired the entire tank, and you cannot believe, within hours they lost all their whatever 1 lakh shrimp was there, for maybe 2-3 gram size for 1 month or 60 days old, 3-4 gram size. They lost the entire thing. So what we suggest, that that sludge should be removal almost a daily basis. So in that process, whatever 2 to 3% water you remove from the tank, ultimately you have to compensate that water, you have to fill it up. That is one of the regular process which is required. Maybe over a week 10% water is that way, you have to fill the tank. Then really you need water exchange when your parameters are the very quickest way to solve the nitrite or ammonia problem is, anyway, all these bacteria and biofloc, sometimes they may go bad, and sometimes you do not have a proper inoculum or proper this one, which is not able to control the ammonia or whatever this one. So that time, definitely, if you do the water exchange quickly, it will reduce the ammonia or nitrite, or those toxicity can be avoided. So that is also one step where you can do. But more or less, it is compared to the conventional farming, we say this kind of water exchange and all these things is bare minimum, and it is not at all a big amount of water exchange for that matter. So that way it is called also zero or minimum water exchange for that matter. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. I have a doubt, sir. My name is Hari Krishna. Can I speak, sir?
Yeah, please tell me.
I'm working in CIP Rohtak Center, sir. Actually, I too have seen a lot of people now. They got really very good interest in this biofloc, and many people have started this. I'm seeing it from last 3-4 years, sir. But actually, one farmer he has started doing for shrimps also. Almost he did it in 5 acres. But only thing is, sir, actually my doubt is like, as you already told, do we really have a protocol, for standard protocol for developing an inoculum, sir? That inoculum, actually, we should have a protocol, no, sir. For any technology, we'll have some protocol. In aquaculture, for example, we have a protocol for fertilization. The same way, do we have a protocol, standard protocol for using any standard inoculum, for inoculing into the water? And one more thing, sir, can you tell me how much it will cost, sir, to produce a kg of shrimp from biofloc?
Yeah. So, yeah, Mr. Hari Krishna, I know you very well, and then you're doing a very good work there. And what is that here? We are the protocol is, there is a protocol. There is, if you see internationally also, all these people, they went on telling some protocol. Let me tell you here, two things are important. One is there should be some nitrogen. One is the standard operating procedure. Here depends on some nitrogen should be there. And for that matter, any fertilizer, urea, ammonium sulfate, or even some old feed, we recommend to put so that some nitrogen is there. And when you start putting some carbohydrate, like molasses or any other carbohydrate mixture, then slowly this heterotroph, they will only be propagated, and they will only generate, and their growth rate is so fast that even some nitrifiers are there, some nitrosomonas, they will not be there, and within few days this heterotroph only will this one. So this is the concept, and the protocol accordingly is there.
It's a concept, sir, but in the field it's not happening actually, really, sir. Actually, at least I have seen some pipe farmers looking around at least 50 to 60 lakhs.
Yeah, no, what I'm telling, unless carp culture, beginning we are telling fertilize with urea, SSP or TSP and all these things. Then it is a 40-50 years of experience. People nowadays, they only use some organic juice and all these things. So this is only a 2 years matter, and you do not expect everybody to follow some SOP, but definitely some farmers, those who are coming to the real, like some people, technocrat and all, they are definitely following certain things. They are only that is why only today that Devatanu was, and others were also telling that there are so many success story also. And this is just a correction phase. You can tell many people are also failing. Many people like our Devika Madam was telling their story of Kerala. So these are all like, it is a correction phase, and this will definitely take some time to standardize. This is just the beginning phase, but definitely there are a standard operating procedure is possible. But for different species, for catfish there is little variation will be there. For shrimp definitely there will be entirely lot of things will be a variation will be there. So these things keeping in mind, again pond and tank there will be some change, and all these things should be taken into account for telling the SOP. Then another important thing is the probiotic, whether to go use probiotic or not. If you the original thinker, the developer, if you ask like our this Yoram and all these people, they will tell it is not at all required, because it's a naturally it will select the good bacteria. Why do you use probiotic? But our people, without probiotic, nobody move forward. They say probiotic to customize it is important. So some heterotrophic probiotic are there in the market, and many different kind. Nobody is checking. So some probiotic are really good in making the biofloc, some are not. Then inoculum also they prepare with a different kind of pineapple, this juice, that juice. Everything is fine as long as they are adding in the fermentation process. But there should be some regulation, as you are telling. We are bringing out those SOP for different this one in a published way, in a better way, so that it will reach to other people. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, please stop.
Sir, can we culture, sir, Microbial Rosenberg in biofloc system?
Yeah, as far as I was showing one data of some nursery, some people they have conducted Microbial Rosenbergi, and they are telling very good result as far as this one. They are actually attached to like in a way our collaborative farmer. They did it very good survival also. But more than that, going for Microbial itself have got several morphotypes and this problem, that problem. There are some inherent problem also. So now some people they are starting, and we are not very much convinced so far that grow out of microbiome and what is the productivity level and all what will be coming.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Hi, Dr. Akshay, this is Dipen Modi, and my question is regarding water quality monitoring. So, as all the speakers have mentioned, it is highly imperative that we maintain water quality parameters. So, what could be the ideal frequency of taking measurement? Like, how could it fluctuate intraday, or like once a day or once a week reading should be fine?
Yeah, I think this bacteria, if you see, if you start even with very mere 10 to the power 5, 1 lakh bacteria or 1 million bacteria per ml, every hour the bacteria multiply, like it becomes double, like in geometric proportion it changes. And when this bacteria changes, so also the floc volume changes, and your water quality can drastically change within a day also. So what we tell, the critical parameter like the pH, the alkalinity, the temperature, of course, and that is during winter and sometime it is important to know, because to feed also you need to know what is the temperature, whether there is a drop very much, and this one. And the most important parameter for so far as biofloc is concerned is total ammonical nitrogen. If the farmer cannot do the other thing, at least the total ammonical nitrogen, nitrite, pH and alkalinity, and the biofloc volume, this should be done regularly, daily, even 2 times sometime is also required. So that should be done regularly. Then other parameter, it is up to him in 2-3 days time or something. If he take, it is fine. That's why even some people they go for 100 tanks, 50 tanks without understanding. Instead of 100 tank of 10 ton or 5 ton capacity, if they can go for 5 tanks or 10 tanks of 50 ton capacity, it is better, easier for them to manage, and because all these parameters need to be monitored on a regular basis.
Thank
Hello,
you.
sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Namaskar. Sir, my water parameter is ammonia 0.25, pH 7.8, NO2 5, NO3 160. Sir, NO2, NO3, why can I solve this problem? Please talk to me, sir.
So it's an ongoing culture, or
ongoing culture, sir.
Your NO2 level is 5 ppm.
5 ppm and NO3 160.
Okay, so it means you don't have proper heterotrophic system. I think your only it's a nitrifiers are there. So these are all changing, not because heterotroph will be there, means they will assimilate that one tan or the ammonia to their this one, and there will not be much of nitrite. But nitrite one way, is there any? It's a saline system, or it's a
No, sir, sugar just 100 gram every day.
Okay.
Use 100 gram sugar every day.
So I think your system is not heterotroph in that way. So nitrite should not be that much, first of all, and then second thing, you can have a proper aeration. I do not know, you can send your aeration, proper aeration should be there to reduce that nitrite and all. Even if you can add some salt, it will also help in reducing the nitrite and nitrite toxicity. And more or less that heterotrophic system should function. There may not be, you have how much biofloc volume, that all things you can come, and we can discuss in person, like what is that, we can find out the problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for attending everybody so exhaustively. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now we will be going towards the end of the session. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our Director, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Gopal Krishna, for his encouragement to conduct this program. I also would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. B.B. Naik, industry component leader in HEP program. And I express my gratitude to all the speakers, Dr. Krishna R. Salin, Dr. Akshaya Panigrahi, Dr. Devika Pillai, Dr. Ajay Kumar and Mr. Devtanu Burman for their excellent talk in various aspects of Biofloc technology, how to implement it, how it can lead to income generation, and also their contribution in the discussion. Without the participants, the webinar would not have been successful. So I express my sincere gratitude to all the participants to make this program successful. Thanks one and all. Thank you very much.
Madam, thank you very much. Madam, this recording is available in YouTube for a further reference purpose or any recording?
Recording is there, can be shared as and when required. Like if you really want specific lecture, we can share it. The lecture permits, speaker permits, we will share it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very
much. We would like to end the session, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all once again. Thank you.
Thank you.